The aforementioned Dallas Cowboys. We're looking at Micah Parsons. Greeny, in about 6 hours 2 Sundays ago, they cost themselves at least $30 million when we saw the defensive end market go from $34 to $40 million a year. Then they lose key players like DeMarcus Lawrence, Zach Martin retires, Rico Dowdle, Jordan Lewis. Now, they added Javonte Williams and a few others, but to me, the key here is, again, they're waiting to sign a star. It's going to cost them more money.
Yeah, no, they sign a $3 million running back every year. Last one, Mike T, give us which team has made the single biggest blunder.
Well, we already talked about it. The Pittsburgh Steelers, they went out, they got a great receiver, DK Metcalf, can give him $30 million a year. But Greeny, who is throwing him the football? Right now, it's Mason Rudolph. They have the 20th pick in the draft. So to me, until they get at least Russell Wilson back, I love Metcalf. I hate the sequence of how they did it.
Well, the Giants are another team that might be in the conversation for Russell Wilson. Over the weekend, the Giants, found a quarterback, well, signed a quarterback. They signed Jameis Winston, so he's the latest domino to fall. You look at all these quarterback moves starting February 28th when the Rams announced they were keeping Matt Stafford, sets up the chain of events. Justin Fields, Geno Smith, Daniel Jones, on and on it goes. We touched on this quickly, but for those who were just joining us, how do you view the signing of Jameis Winston in New York? What is he to them?
He's a bridge to April. They have to get a quarterback, Greeny. They have to get one in the draft. Look, you have to win for today, and you have to
this is notable quarterback moves this offseason, and you're tying your franchise's season and potentially your livelihood to one of these guys, other than Matt Stafford, do you feel good about anybody on that list?
No, that's the point. And we talk, Sam Darnold, you never know what he might be. Geno Smith, very good. Is he going to win you a championship? That's a question. Justin Fields, does he finally meet the potential? No, your point is obviously well taken. Teams are sort of waiting out the Kirk Cousins thing, and he was flat terrible last year, so hopefully that was just injury related. EJ, let's dive back to the Giants quickly on this for a minute here, because the Giants pick third. Now, they may not have the ability at 3 to pick Shedeur Sanders. Most of the mock drafts suggest that they will. You look at these quarterbacks all the time. Your primary thing here is covering the college game for us and everything else. If you were picking third and Shedeur Sanders is there, would you take him?
Well, if Travis Hunter is there, I would take Travis Hunter. And I think that's because you try to go veteran at quarterback this year, only because Brian Daboll's in a situation where there has to be a sense of urgency to have a good year. I think he's coaching for his job this season, guys. And yes, you can have Shedeur or you can have a young quarterback come in and try to groom him. But, guys, that takes 2 to 3 seasons. Mike knows that. I mean, it's going to take a process, whereas if you can bring somebody in that you can plug and play right now, I like the signing of Jameis because I do think it's a bridge, but I also think Jameis could be your future. And then if you can get a guy like Russell Wilson to come there, he could potentially also battle for that starting job. So to answer your question, Greeny, if Travis Hunter's there, I would take him. But you're not wrong by taking Shedeur Sanders. I just think that's more of a long-term play that I don't know if Brian Daboll will be around for, truthfully, if they don't have a good season this year.
I know you know this, and I know that what you're talking about is traditionally true, but someone needs to tell C.J. Stroud and Washington that you can't win with a rookie quarterback because obviously with those star players, they have won Jayden Daniels. They've won very big.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, when we had Mark Sanchez in New York, we went to back-to-back championship games with a rookie and a second-year quarterback. So it can be done. But to EJ's point, all quarterbacks don't develop equally. And to go back to that graphic, I think Sam Darnold is a B+, maybe even better. It took 4 teams to get there, Greeny. So to me, the key in all this, you need a quarterback to stabilize things and then draft a quarterback. But you're covering the draft. We're going to see, in my opinion, probably at least 4 quarterbacks on the first round.
I believe there will be 4 in round 1.
It has to be so scary, though. You talk about Jayden Daniels and C.J. Stroud. What else do they have in common? They were not the #1 overall pick.
Right.
But But if you're a GM, if you're Joe Shane right now with the Giants, you have to be petrified of the prospects out there because you know you need that quarterback to save your job at this point, and you can't figure out exactly where that is.
But the fundamental question is when you do the autopsy is just take J.J. McCarthy. Here was a guy that was a well-built, productive Big Ten quarterback
last year.
That took his team to the national championship. And look, Malik Neighbors has a chance to be an all-time great. But until you have a quarterback, nothing else matters. How they didn't take J.J. McCarthy, to me, is inexcusable.
J.J. McCarthy's done nothing in the league.
Yeah, J.J. McCarthy hasn't taken a snap in the NFL yet.
Yeah, but juxtapose against that list, tell me you wouldn't take him over almost all those guys?
Based on potential, yes, and clearly the Vikings chose him over Sam Darnold sort of indirectly. I understand the point that you're making. We'll see. I want to get back to this, save some time. And by the way, today is Cam Ward's pro day. We have Lewis who is going to be there, so we'll jump to him a little bit. I want to go through some of the other great stuff of the weekend. We know the NCAA tournament was the highlight of the weekend, but a weekend wrap, other great moments. The Wisconsin Badgers women's hockey team won their record 8th national championship in dramatic fashion. 18 seconds left. Kirsten Sims tied the Frozen Four championship game with an incredible penalty shot. She also scored in overtime on a rebound to give Wisconsin a 4-3 victory. Team, by the way, is coached by Mark Johnson of the Miracle on Ice team. They won 8th national championship, and he's been the coach for all of them. Congratulations to the Wisconsin women. Meanwhile, NHL, the Blues scored a ridiculous goal here against the Blackhawks. 3 players deflected the puck in the air before it went into the net. It's a triple doink goal. It's ridiculous hand-eye coordination. It's one of those things that when you watch it, there's no way to get a full sense of it unless you watch it this slowly. Look at that. Boom, boom, boom. I defy you to even consider that a ridiculous goal. And then collegiate wrestling, a stunner at the NCAA championships. Oklahoma State's Wyatt Hendrickson upset Olympic gold medalist Gable Steveson 5-4 in the heavyweight final. Steveson was seeking his 3rd national title and had won 70 matches in a row. The NCAA Women's Championship 2nd round continues on ESPN today. Noon, NC State, Texas, Iowa, and LSU will all be in action. Meanwhile, the Sweet 16 for the men is set, but this is a group we haven't seen the likes of in 20 years. We'll explain why next.
Chào tất cả mọi người đã quay trở lại với kênh của mình. Ngày hôm nay mình sẽ tiếp tục hướng dẫn các bạn tô tượng. Tượng hôm nay của mình sẽ có tiêu đề là cái cốc. Mọi người, hôm nay tượng của mình là cái ly. Bây giờ mình bắt đầu tô nhá. Màu xanh đầu tiên nha.
Mày ra nè. Mày đi đâu vậy? Vậy đi lên, anh tô tượng anh đừng cho. Đây, chơi thì đến đây này. Đi ở tao năng nó không đi.
Như lời hát của đen vào. Em nghi anh tiếc anh sao? Phát biệt thang ngày đâu đâu. Mọi người ơi, đây là màu xanh nha.
Đây là gì?
Tiếp đến là màu hồng.